Hello and welcome to a library tutorial for DMS 112 Patient Care Topic Review. My name is Liz Kavanaugh and I will be your librarian for this class. If you have any questions about library services or resources that we have, please feel free to email me or the reference desk at the contact information listed below. The first step in determining what kind of resources we want to use for the topic review assignment will come down to whether you want to look for one article from a reputable journal or a comport of multiple resources from non-academic or non-scholarly sources, such as magazines, newspapers, or editorials. When we consider what kinds of resources have been peer-reviewed, we're really looking at the content. Has it been by an expert in the field? Has it been reviewed by other experts in the field for accuracy, authority, and validity of results? And for whom has this article been written? Has it been written for the expert's peers in the field? Not all articles that have been published in a peer-reviewed journal undergo the rigorous process of peer review itself, however. When we look at an article, we want to determine the author's expertise, including their credentials, how to contact them if necessary, if they've been published in other research studies, and if they include a bibliography of other resources used during their own research paper. An article may actually be scholarly without being peer-reviewed. Being peer-reviewed includes a specific review cycle over a specific series of events in the publishing world. Some things to look out for when searching for an article's peer review status are to look for dates somewhere near the beginning or the end of the article for proof of submission, revision, acceptance, and publish, or pretend that you are the author of that particular article and visit the journal's requirements for authors section on their website to see if that type of article is actually one that undergoes the journal's peer review publishing strategy. The peer review process will vary from journal to journal, so you may need to look in multiple places. Articles that include peer review dates can be found in these examples. If you see accepted for publication and the date, or if you see published, accepted, then submitted, you know that the article has gone through a documented process of review, i.e. peer review. In this case, you will just need one article to review for your topic review paper. The articles that undergo a peer review go through this cycle, moving from the author's original contribution to the publication staff to the editor of the journal. The editor-in-chief will then send it to independent reviewers who will ensure the validity and accuracy of the content of the article, including any citations or data being used by the article's author. The reviewers will then decide whether or not to include the article immediately, to send it back to the author for further revisions, or to reject the article outright. This process could take many weeks, months, or even a year. Whether or not you are looking for a peer-reviewed article, you can ensure that your article is coming from a reputable scholarly source by looking for certain headings within the article to make sure you have the information you need for this assignment. Most scholarly articles follow a particular format, including the use of section headings, such as the abstract, literature review, methodology, results, and conclusion. It will always include a references or bibliography section as well. A scholarly article may include all or just some of these heading examples. Articles are not required to use all of these headings, but if you see them, you're usually on the right track. The journals themselves will include very few graphics, but if they do, they will be in the forms of tables or illustrations to support the research itself. From the library's homepage, you'll be able to find a variety of resources, including scholarly or peer-reviewed articles. From the library's homepage, library.misericordia.edu, you'll be set to find books, articles, journals, course reserves, and research guides. Each one of these tabs will allow you to search for a different kind of resource. For example, clicking on the first tab for MU Catalog will bring you print or multimedia materials held here in the library. The second tab for databases will allow you to use your keywords to find articles, such as peer-reviewed or scholarly articles. Journal Finder is a great place to go if you know the title of a journal or a news source, for example, the New York Times. Course Reserves will let you find any materials that your professor puts on reserve for use here in the library. And finally, Research Guide will bring you to one-stop shopping guides for information in a particular subject area, including sonography. For our purposes, we will start with the second tab, Databases. Databases is the tab you would go to search for your keywords, including any synonyms or alternate endings, and be able to use interfaces that are specific to the field of health sciences and sonography. Knowing what kind of information you need to find from the beginning is a great way to start the research process. If I start with a question, such as, what can professionals in the field of sonography do to help patients with diabetes? I need to first take out my keywords and then think of synonyms, that is, other keywords that could go along with my original question. For example, sonography could include the word sonograph with an asterisk or ultrasonograph with an asterisk, to include any variation at the end when I use that asterisk. The asterisk is placed at the end of the root word to include any variation on endings. For example, sonograph with the asterisk at the end will give me sonograph, sonographer, sonography, and so on. Ultrasonography is actually used as a major subject heading when searching in the field of sonography. So if you're using the keyword sonography and not finding many results, think about expanding your search to include the word ultrasonography. Same thing with the phrasing of diabetes. Notice here when I use quotation marks around two words in a phrase, that tells the search to look for those two words together as one unit and not to split them across the research article. We can further add what is called booleans between our keywords to make our searching more specific or more general. For example, adding "and" between ultrasonography and health literacy will give us only results that contain both terms. Or we'll expand our search options and allow us to include similar words together, such as confidentiality or privacy will give us all the results about confidentiality as well as everything about privacy. Not will exclude informatiator will give us all the results about patient advocate with nothing about the patient navigator. Further, we can get even more creative in our search strategy by combining multiple instances of booleans. We can combine them to expand and solidify our search in the most effective way to save us time in the searching process. This example will give us every variation on each term, combined with all variations of the second set of phrases, expanding our search exponentially in just one search session. You can use this kind of search string in a library database, the MU catalog, and even on the open web, such as in a Google search. This will help you find the most relevant results possible. Turning to the library's homepage, we can look at some of the databases specific to the field of health sciences, such as CINAHL Complete, Medline, HealthSource, Cochrane, ScienceDirect, and Credo Reference. These databases all allow us to search for information in the fields of health sciences and can be accessed from off-campus using your MyMU login and password when asked. The second tab for databases and then clicking on the link for databases by subject will get you to the listing of databases used in health sciences by topic. From there, you can view all of the database interfaces I mentioned before, including CINAHL, Cochrane, and ScienceDirect, to search for your keywords. Or you can use databases A to Z if you know that you like to use a particularly named database, such as Credo. Now that we've decided what kinds of resources we want to use, whether they are academic or peer-reviewed, or open and popular, we can start searching for information using our keywords. One of the databases that is very general, that can help provide background information, images, and encyclopedia entries is called Credo Reference. Coming under Databases A to Z on the Databases tab, I'll find Credo listed under C alphabetically. Credo can be considered to be a librarian's Wikipedia. The information that can be found in Credo is placed there by librarians, professors, and experts in the field, and is sourced from encyclopedias, dictionaries, and atlases to ensure the most reputable sources for background information. For example, let's look for information on ultrasonography. There are currently 31 results that focus on the term ultrasonography, which comes from sources like Black's Medical Dictionary, Merriam-Webster's Medical Dictionary, and the Dictionary of Developmental Biology and Embryology. So you know you are getting quality information in a snapshot for a particular keyword. These resources also include a citation to help you with your APA sources. Credo also allows searching for keywords by image or mind map to guide you to a variety of resources that may also inspire you with other keywords or topic of interest. Although Credo is an excellent place to find background information, current academic resources available can be found in other subject-specific databases. Returning to the Health Sciences listing of databases under the Databases tab, we can now start looking for our keywords in the context of articles. I'll choose CINAHL Complete to start. EBSCOhost is a very large umbrella that contains many kinds of databases, including many that fall within the health sciences category. Each database contains a wide variety of journals, and each journal houses the articles we need to find. Now, there may be some overlap between those databases, but it's always a good idea to try many databases to make sure we do not miss any relevant articles to our topic. Although we'd like to add some more health science databases that I mentioned, such as Medline and HealthSource. Now we can begin searching across all of those health-related areas by clicking on Choose Databases. We can also come under the search options and select peer-reviewed to ensure that the articles we find come from peer-reviewed journals. Please note that this checkbox means that the articles are coming from peer-reviewed journals, but not that every article has received a peer review status. However, we cannot get to a peer-reviewed articles without first visiting peer-reviewed journals. So, it is a step in the right direction. If we take our search from our slides for ultrasonography and diabetes, and we use our booleans between similar words, and combine lines with AND, our search will reveal about 2,404 results from the three databases, CINAHL, Medline, and HealthSource, which all come from peer-reviewed journals. Don't forget to use your limiters to make sure that the publication date is current to within 3 years. So we'll need to change the first date in that range to 2014. This will limit our results down to 584 articles. Secondly, you may want to use your filters to limit the results further by geography, age, or gender. Those will continue to help narrow your results by population. You can also add more keywords to make the current listing even further reduced. These keywords can be used in the future if relevant. If you see a red PDF full text link and click on it, you'll be able to read the article right here and now and can save, print, or download the article as you need. If you come across an article that does not have the red PDF full text link, be sure to click on the 360 link to full text to see if this article actually lives in another database held by the library. If it does not, and there are no holdings for that particular journal, always be sure to click on the link to request this article by interlibrary loan. Interlibrary loan requests for articles are all done electronically and usually have a positive return rate of about 24 to 48 hours. Starting an interlibrary loan request is as simple as a click of a mouse through the 360 link to full text in EBSCO-hosted databases. Alternatively, if you click on the 360 link to full text and there is a full text option, you will be automatically forwarded to where that article lives in a different library database, but in full text. Just click on the PDF full text link when you get there, and you'll be able to view the article just as we saw in EBSCO, even though the article itself is not located in EBSCO. Another kind of source that you can find under databases A to Z is LexisNexis Academic. LexisNexis can be used to find articles, legal resources, and other newspaper types of articles to further show that your topic for this assignment has a current interest, since the kinds of resources published in LexisNexis are often posted within days or weeks of an event. This is a database that is very general like Credo, so it lives under the database's A to Z link on the library's homepage. Coming back to the library's homepage, I'll locate LexisNexis under databases A to Z, then L alphabetically. The LexisNexis interface has an immediate search area to search across all of LexisNexis's resources. However, if you only want to focus on how your topic is being reported in the news, use this drop-down area to start your search. We'll use HIPAA as our example here. From our results list of over 900 articles, we can resort our results by recency to find the most current information. We can also further categorize these results by a particular news source, such as using the left-hand drop-down menus to select a particular news source, like the Washington Post's reporting on our topic of HIPAA. If I open an article now, I can read the text in full, including any time our keyword of HIPAA is mentioned, indicated by bolded red font. We can also find additional concepts of interest based on our topic located at the very bottom of the article to continue our search forward. Within this list of results, you can search for another keyword at any time to further limit the results. If we go back to our initial list of all the results on HIPAA, and I add ultrasound, I can see now that just 7 articles cover both HIPAA and ultrasound in the same article. If we wanted to search within a particular source, such as the New York Times, we would want to go back to the library's homepage and use the third tab for Journal Finder. You can also browse by subject area, for example, under the category of radiology, MRI, ultrasonography, and medical physics, which contains 161 titles, all related to just those subject areas that can be looked in on a title-by-title basis. This is also very useful if you're using an open web or Google search and come across articles that are requiring pay for access. Take the title of the journal back to Journal Finder to see if the library and you, as a Misericordia student, actually do have access to that title. You can search within that journal for free. The Journal Finder tab is very easy to use. In an example search for the New York Times, it will show us all the results for that resource's title and let us know the dates of coverage for that source, as well as how to access it electronically or in print holdings using the blue hyperlink into the database that holds that title. If you would like to browse by title, use the drop-down for selecting a subject category to choose Health and Biological Sciences. From there, scroll down to the section Medicine and click on the link for Radiology, MRI, ultrasonography, and medical physics to browse or search within all 161 titles. If you are continuing your search into the open web, always make sure that what you find can be vetted for accuracy, reliability, relevance, and timeliness, just as you would for an academic resource through the library's databases. By going into some specific websites like the AIUM or NCBI, you know that the information there will already be authoritative and often relevant to your interests as stenographers. Google Scholar is another open web source that can be used for research articles, but again, please use Journal Finder from the library's homepage if you are ever asked to pay for an article. Finally, once you locate your resources, make sure you are giving credit where credit is due. Ensuring proper citations is your responsibility. With these kinds of resources, like the APA Style Guide to Electronic References, available from the library's homepage, and citation research guides linked here, you'll know how to cite full and in-text references for your paper, regardless of what kind of source you're using. And the DMS Research Guide can also offer one-stop shopping for information on how to find books, ebooks, articles, web sources, interlibrary loan, and also my contact information. I've also posted a link directly to these resources in your Blackboard course page in the Topic Review Assignment folder. I'm also including a quick guide to some of the more common citation styles in this presentation, such as in-text or parenthetical citations, books, book chapters, articles, and websites. Again, please visit the APA Style Guide to Electronic References or the APA's blog for more information straight from the APA itself. The Writing Center is also a great resource on campus or online for helping with formatting your paper and checking over all of your references. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to contact me or the reference desk at the information below. I look forward to working with you all and wish you all the best in your research.